us when you're not. So I will be filling in because I am not a Dallas Cowboys expert. I'm working on it. The guys to my left and right, they are lifelong Dallas Cowboys fans here to bring you the most entertaining commentary you'll find here on YouTube. To my right, our typical host, the creator of this show, Straight No Chaser podcast, none other than Cliff, the Hoop Jargon CEO. Cliff, how you doing today, brother?
Doing good, man. Let's get it, man. Cowboys, let's get the dub.
To my left, we have the colorful, what can I say about Joey Flosa other than the star of the show, our man, Italian American, JC. How's it going today, brother?
Hey man, great to be here. Thanks for the build up. I appreciate that. I'm sure I will disappoint in my typical underachieving style after such an
Oh,
intro as that, but it's fantastic to be here, man.
somehow I doubt that. Somehow I doubt that. Well, fellas, let's dive right into it. We're going to talk first about last week, week 11, recap that Raiders win quickly because we talked about it, last week during Tuesday's show. We got a couple more things we want to add on. We'll go first to Hoop Jargon. Your first takeaways from the victory against the Las Vegas Raiders last week.
Well, this kind of goes into what we always preach over here is like you got to bank the wins against the teams you're supposed to win against. And this game started out pretty slow for us, which was kind of surprising with stall drives and all that. So I was, I'm not gonna say I was worried, but I was like, okay, here we go. Are we in officially next year mode, or is this something that if we're gonna make historic run, is this gonna be the catalyst to do so? And so it seemed, early we just couldn't get our proverbial tires out of the mud until we did. And I like one of D Brown's talking points was like one of the game changers was Marquise Bell getting the interception from that tip pass. And so we got some opportunities and we finally got ourselves out the mud. And I got to say this, man. And I wanted to put this in Hoop Jargon in the group, but I didn't want to start too much controversy. But I'm kind of having a small internal battle about who do I like more, man, for Dak Prescott's favorite weapon, George Pickens or CeeDee Lamb? Because I gotta say, I was like, okay, CeeDee Lamb's a deep threat guy, and we definitely need that. But when does Dak really thrive with one of those? Because let's think about it. Des Bryant, him and Dak didn't really see, he's a deep threat. They didn't really see eye to eye as far as their cohesion. George Pickens has been phenomenal for us, man.
I'll be honest with you. Hoop. I think you need a deep threat, but you look at DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh right now.
Fair enough.
He's the number one receiver, but he's a deep threat. He's not a good number one. He needs an alpha receiver in order to unlock that deep threat. And I think the same might have been true with Pickens. And Lamb is that number one receiver that is basically like an every down wide receiver, in my opinion.
No, and again, that's why I say it's a small conflict because I know not to get up, over my skis as far as liking a player and then diminishing the other. So it's just a natural thing that sometimes we do. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, man, once we got going, and it was great to see us clicking because this is the optimism or lie that we tell ourselves that this team that can, once they showed us losing to the Eagles week 1, this is what we can look like. Actually, having those dual threats outside, having the run game. I think Williams went almost 100 yards. Defense looking just dominant. I'm sure we'll talk a little more about that, but Quentin Williams looking, damn good out there. And my guy, Ninja, that's James Houston. Got another sack out there, man. So I was impressed, man. I don't care if we're playing a 2-7 Raiders at the time because we've been blowing games against teams we allegedly supposed to beat. So I'm like, man, again, bank the wins. It's a good win on the road, which we are horrible on the road. In fact, before that game showed up, the Cowboys, we were 1-3 on the road. So we're horrible on the road. So listen, I'm impressed. I'm not going to let people tell me that it's just a Raiders.
Fellas, we have breaking news. Breaking news. This seems to happen a lot while we're broadcasting, huh? Aaron Rodgers out today.
Mm-hmm. Mason Rudolph starts.
Right. As a Steelers fan, I'm relieved. I ain't gonna lie. I'm
And
relieved.
he ain't got no Pickens to throw deep to either.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Joey, you're again immediate, or not so much immediate, but now your long-term reflections on the game against Las Vegas. Now that you've had some time to let it sink in.
I just keep coming back to this. It's an NFL win. You have to bank it, and everyone. It doesn't really matter, what the caliber of the opponent is. You just bank the win. It also doesn't really matter what the caliber of the opponent is playing against the Cowboys, because we've seen really lightly regarded cats like Rico Dowdell, all right, certainly going into the season, less regarded than Ashton Genty, all right, light the Cowboys up, So, it's just the Raiders. Hey, man, they locked Genty down. They made life difficult on my man Gino, who I've kind of always been a Gino supporter. It kind of took him a little while to get his legs under him. I thought he was a plus quarterback prospect coming out of West Virginia all those years ago. And he has had a very difficult year this year, in terms of, production, in terms of turnovers and things of that nature. And yes, to this point, Brother Marquise came through on that. And if I'm not mistaken, there was on that interception, and there was a little bit of pressure there. It's just, you see all these things, going hand in hand, pressure, helping the secondary. They made some changes in the secondary. Elam didn't play a single down, and P.S., he got released yesterday. So what you had Carson, Caleb Carson. You had Siobhan Ravel making his NFL debut, by the way. And you had the return of Malik Hooker and the rest of the boys back there, along with Bland, who, interestingly enough, Bland was matched up on Brock Bowers a lot. I thought that was interesting, and I thought it was a good move, because they were doing a lot of things with Brock. Kicking him out wide, and you'd look over and Bland to be on him. I thought that was a good move. He was the guy that could hurt you. The Raiders are in a bad way right now. But the NFL is a week-to-week thing, and they've had weeks where they played very, very well, even though they lost. And you're just glad to get the win, because we're kind of at the point right now where you need to win so that the next game can actually mean something.
Absolutely.
You spoke about defensive pressure, Joey, which was a perfect segue into our next segment. We saw the Cowboys debut of defensive star Quentin Williams, number 94. Could you talk a little bit about what you saw there, Joey?
Occupying a couple of guys and still getting pressure. That just is as good as advertised. I'm surprised he wasn't defensive player of the week. Okay, with the way he wrecked shop, a sack and a half, season high in pressure and hits. I mean, the guy was, man, they just didn't have much for him. He was in their mix, and it makes a huge difference. It's we hear it all the time. Well, one guy can't make a difference. Bullshit. One guy can make a hell of a difference. It's what Cliff referred to on our Tuesday show this week with the force multiplier, if you will. Someone who makes everybody better, and it increases, so to speak, the output of your turbine engine as a whole. Okay, that's what this cat does, man. He's legit. Again, man. Oh, it's shocking. A dude from fucking Alabama can really play. As I always say, man, if you're drafting, right, and you don't know which way to go, just pick a Bama or a Georgia motherfucker.
SEC. Anywhere in the SEC, to be honest with you. Your
chances go way, or maybe an Ohio State receiver. Your chances go way up. And hitting on a player like that, of course, we remember Amari Cooper, Bama, We drafted Booker this year, Bama, and shit. Seeing him pick that dude up and run, to the draft to shake Goodell's hand. That guy's like 2 1/4. Booker's picked him up and jogging with him. I'm like, man, this is gonna be a good pick, right? Again, so no coincidence that Quinn Williams out of Alabama, just legit. I mean, those two schools, they just look at grown-ass men all day, and then they practice against one another. You just get much, much more of a proven player when you get these Alabama cats, man. And Quinn Williams is no different. Again, as I said, top 5, top 3, in my estimation, D tackle, and a top 10 overall defensive lineman in this league.
Well, I'm tell you a little something about the SEC. The SEC is exactly the same as hip hop in the regard that football was created in Canton, Ohio, right? Hip hop was created in New York City. 2/3 of all African Americans live in the southeastern corridor of the United States. So where the fuck was it going to land? Right there.
I've got one. Hey, I've got an analogy for you real quick. I've always said the Wu-Tang Clan is the SEC of rap. They got, 7, 8 guys that are nice-ass MCs, and the SEC has, 8 teams in the top 25? So that's a great analogy.
Even Master Killer done stepped this game up. It's 10 now. Trust me. Cliff, your thoughts on Quinn Williams' performance?
Shit, right? The outer reaching guys are pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, man, but like JC just said, man, he's as good as advertised. And, it's just a pleasure to watch a guy from that position disrupt a football game like that. So we talking in total, he having 4 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and a tackle for loss. When can we say, in 5 quarterback hits, when did we say we've consistently seen that from defensive tackle position on our team? I'll wait. And listen, man, and that's what admitting that Kenny Clark has been doing a phenomenal job of plugging in, and stepping up and being our enforcer. He had a pretty good game too. But ultimately speaking, you got a guy that's going to create matchup problem for our D line, thus going forward. So I guess all the premium we put on our edge rush, it kind of alleviates it a little bit, because now guys can come in and free rush more, because you got to account for that big son bitch in the middle. And I know it's the Raiders. I know it's one game. But when is he not shown to be this guy? This is a guy who, when we wanted him the first go-around from Micah, the Jets were like, no, we're not giving you him. By virtue of bad football, we got him. Go ahead, JC.
I was just gonna say, just to interject, I thought Kenny Clark was a big son bitch, man. Quinn Williams makes him look small.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you get. You got a guy, he's only being 27. He's on the way up. Like, he has a lot of good football still to go. And like you say, from the SEC, line of talent, this is nothing new. But everybody trying to get cute and get these other guys from different, conferences. And I noticed, like, defensively, we don't, at least from my recollection, we don't spend a lot of stock on SEC players. But it seems to be those are the ones you go after. Just like one who I seen get drafted, Jordan. He played with the Eagles.
Yeah.
What's his last name? Jordan Davis. I actually got to interview him when he got drafted in Vegas. Like,
Davis and Carter. Yeah,
man. Like, so that's the way to go. And so we got us when it took us, over the meadow and through the woods.
Did Nakobe Dean go to Georgia too?
Did who?
I think Nakobe Dean went to Georgia as well. Seems like that Eagles team's got a few Georgia cats on it.
I'm not sure, but if they did, then yeah, that just shows the competency of
The big boy did that spit on Dak went to Georgia. And I think the kid next to him went to Georgia. And I think Nakobe Dean went to Georgia. I mean, damn.
So there you go.
Grown ass man, dog. They're hogging out in the NFL, too.
If you want a life alley-oop, fill your front line offensively and defensively with a Georgia Alabama kid. Because if we look at things properly, that's what have these guys in these deep playoff runs. Yes, they got guys on the outside. Y'all just mentioned Amari Cooper, Judy going to Bama. Pickens going to Georgia, so on and so forward. Yeah, that does help. But what they always say about the SEC that separates them from every other conference, that fucking front line play. And so and it just it translates next level. So I'm just happy we finally got us one of those big nasties up front who's young, who got a lot of career in front of him, and from a fan standpoint, it just was a beautiful thing to see that something that was such a glaring hole and why our defense is trash, Eberflus aside, it was a joy to watch, man.
Cliff, if you would talk about the front seven adjustments that you saw, that weren't maybe possible before Q-Dub got there.
Well, so I didn't get to check out a lot of the linebacker play on there. I was focused on the front four, to be frank with you, because that's the biggest part of contention for me. But again, what I see is like once you get those guys going, I know Clowney didn't have a terribly great game, but then you got guys who I love. Everybody knows is James Houston. You get him out there and making game-changing plays like he can do because he's young as well. He's from the SEC. Now, he went to Jackson State, but he's an SEC kid as well. He went to Florida at first, right? So you're watching what he was in Detroit, not necessarily with the sack count, but you're watching him getting those pressures when, we were kind of putting that waiting on to what's 41's name? I forget his name. What's our rookie? What was his name?
It's Raku.
Ezraku, who's playing well too. He's playing well too. Ezraku is not necessarily a sack guy, but you're watching him come along because as basically he has to put on some more muscle. He has to get his man body together, playing offensive, defensive edge. But James Houston, he's not much of a open field tackler, but he gonna pressure the damn quarterback. So what you're seeing is guys like those guys getting off because Ezraku had a slow start. And now he's looking damn good. So to kind of answer what you're saying, with and I like Jordan Davis made this quote when he got drafted. He's like, 2 on me, somebody free. So when you got a guy like that, you're getting everybody getting those chances to disrupt, which has been a huge problem for us since Ben pimping. Well, at least since Mike has been gone. Let me say that. At least since Mike has been gone.
That's a great take.
Like a big boy from Georgia, man. Again, the spitter. He makes the Eagles' defense markedly better, and
Carter.
The numbers are staggering in terms of when he's on the field and when he's not. And I think you're going to have kind of the same thing with Williams, and the Cowboys. That one can make a difference in terms of the force multiplying domino effect. You've got to pay attention to me, all right, or I will wreck your world, which again opens up stuff for other guys. And also, I want to expand on what Cliff mentioned about, you were getting a little bit more Houston, recently, and I think that was directly tied into the development of Ezraku. They really drafted Ezraku to handle all of those snaps, the 25 or so snaps, upwards of maybe 30 that are definite passing situations. And so you had a veteran like Houston who's able to say, okay, this is kind of how it's done. The thing with Houston is it's like, I just always kind of harken back to where it's like, I remember one of my coaches telling us back in the day, hey, you ain't gonna get too many chances. So when you do, make the most of them. Cash them in, right? And so that's Houston. Houston is not going to get a lot of chances. But boy, I tell you what, man, when he has gotten his chances and he has cashed them in, he's made some big plays. And Ezraku's sack numbers are starting to come up a little bit. He's getting more sacks. And again, obviously, as Cliff said, he needs to get a little bit bigger. Get some more rocks in his pockets. You need to be put together a little bit better if you're going to assume a rush linebacker position. He probably needs to get to be around 250 or so, at least 255, which that's not a stretch. He's 6'2" and a half or so. He can hold that 250, 255 and be an effective pass rusher. These things, Quentin Williams, Ezraku, I thought Ravel looked really good in the snaps that he got. Caleb Carson, again, It's a real love-hate relationship with Caleb Carson. All right. It's again, I got to see more out of him because that Saints game last year, Jesus, man, like we called it because he was great against the Browns. And I was like, he was excellent against the Browns. I was like, man, I couldn't believe some of the veteran stuff he did. And I also said, but he could get his ass lit up next week. And that's exactly what happened. So it's a long ball type thing for guys like Carson and Ravel, who's only played the one game. We know more about Williams. We're starting to know more about Ezraku. We have a pretty good idea as to who Jadeveon Clowney and Kenny Clark are. Obviously looking for Osa to pick it up. I think that the rotation on the defensive line in terms of the way that they rotated the defensive line, which again was the subject of Cliff's last diatribe. How they rotated the defensive line, man, I think they've done a spot-on job with that. And the way they brought Ezraku along. And again, of course, when you add Quentin Williams to that, it makes the rotation and the rotating of defensive linemen significantly easier.
Absolutely. And I'll say this one last thing. So another point of interest to always be looking at is rushing yards of what we give up. We gave up a whopping 27 yards on the ground. That's unheard of for us. And well, okay, never mind. Yeah, so 27 yards on the ground, no touchdowns from a struggling, but a guy who we wanted with one Ashton Genty. So I do want to point that out going forward to see if that's a trend that we keep bottling guys up in an area that we had a big concern point.
Interesting take. Well, folks, let's wrap up our coverage of last week's game with the weekly Rodney Lucky Whitehead Jr. Award.
There we go.
Going back to our man Joey Flosa. Joey, who is your Lucky Whitehead Award winner for this particular game?
I'd say Cliff touched on him earlier. When you're talking about the special teams, gadget, hybrid guy, got to be Brother Marquise. Got to be Brother Marquise Bell, man. Got to go with him. That pick was massive. That was huge. Again, benefited from the pressure, but Brother Marquise did what he was supposed to do. So I'm going to go with M. Bell for this week's Rodney Lucky Whitehead Jr. Award.
There you go. All right. So on behalf of myself and Darren, it's going to be a clean sweep on this one, man. And shout out to the HBCU brother from FAMU, one Marquise Bell, who I've been talking about on this show since
There it is.
We picked him up. We put him to the practice squad. I was like, look at this guy, Marquise Bell. He's the guy. And one of the things that's been his calling card is he has very good hands. He's a ball hawk. So now there's some tackling issues that he has, but he makes plays, and I'm glad to see him, on the highest level for my football team, pull plays off as such. So, again, clean sweep, man. We definitely give it to Marquise Bell.
Shout out to Marquise Bell. Do we have his name spelled right, fellas?
Yes, I think so.
What's his number?
13?
14?
14. All right. Shout out to number 14 Dallas Cowboys, Marquise Bell. Is he a D-back?
Safety, linebacker, just a
hybrid.
Yeah, depending on
what. Just a stud. He's just a stud. Back. That's a. All right. Well, we have thoroughly recapped Week 11 between Tuesday night show and today's show. If you enjoy the content that we're giving here today, of course, we're missing our boy D Brown. He will be here with us on Tuesday night. Make sure you tap in on Tuesday night. Fellas, what time on Cowboy Standard? Is it 8 p.m. Cowboy Standard? Yeah, 8 p.m. Cowboy Standard, 6 p.m. Pacific time.
That's right where I work.
I get confused sometimes because I'll be on both coasts. So there you have it. 8 p.m. Cowboy Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, Tuesday night. as we move on, and before we move on to Week 12, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver core, which right now is consistent of two dynamic receivers. You touched on it earlier, but this Pickens CD combo, we have to ask the question, is it the best duo in the National Football League? You have guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison up in Minnesota. Smith and Jigba really doesn't have a partner, but Puka Nakua and his core down there in LA. Who do you guys see as the best core at this point in the NFL? And is it
I
this
would
duo?
say yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes, absolutely. And there's a thing with quarterbacks. You know, we're seeing that yes, and Clip has some consternation in regards to, wow, is Pickens the man over CD? I think that what we're seeing here is, and he definitely had the better statistical game. But again, what we're seeing here is when, and again, I did a little bit of quarterback coaching, best quarterback coach that no one's ever heard of. But what we used to say was, hey, who's your favorite receiver? Well, the motherfucker that's open. The one that's open is my favorite receiver. That's kind of what we're dealing with here in terms of, Pickens is certainly becoming more of a known commodity with his outrageous plastic man abilities and his insane catch radius. But CD is more of the known quantity. So you better not let him beat your burst. And what's happening is Pickens is benefiting from the fact that they're paying so much attention to CD. Although CD didn't disappear. It's just more of the targets were going to Pickens, and I would say yes. I mean, you just mentioned the guys, Zen, that are the other duos, in the league. I would throw Higgins and Chase in that mix. Mm-hmm. If Tampa Bay, if they could ever get their receiver room completely healthy, how good would that son of a bitch be? That'd be about 4 deep. If you got Godwin going and then their rookie and Mike Evans, right? Man, that's a good one too, man. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys as being the best. It's like, you alluded to DK Metcalf being a number one, but not being a good number one. Boy, I thought that was perfect. I thought that made perfect sense. There are number ones in name, and then there are really good number ones. The Jeffersons, the Chases, the Lambs, the Evans. Okay. And you're right. What you said, you're dead on. And what you said about DK, what we've got kind of is the good side of that. Pickens is an unbelievable number 2. He's an incredible number 2.
I would argue 1A, 1B.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say just in terms of duos, I can't think of a better duo than the one that the Cowboys are trying out there right now.
Cliff, what do you think, and how do you think they stack up, with guys like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? We talked about T and his partner out there, Jamar Chase. Amon-Ra St. Brown, we haven't mentioned, and Jamison Williams. So there's some competition out there. What say you?
Well, I mean,
we're forgetting a lot of them. I'll tell you what, I thought that Brown-Smith duo last year in Philadelphia was the best. And we forgot about them. And God, I forgot about Amon-Ra and Jamison. Damn. There's a lot of good ones out there. I still think the Cowboys right now have the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, because listen, man, if we're talking last year, to Joey's point, A.J. Brown and and company over there is fine. But this is the same dude now who talking about if you got me on fantasy, don't pick me. He's been microaggressively complaining pretty much the whole goddamn year because he ain't getting the ball. So to me, that just disqualifies you from this conversation because you admittedly are not getting the production you used to get.
We talked about this in the first or second week of the season, Cliff. We talked about this.
Right. So that already disqualifies them. Chase and Higgins don't have a quarterback ready to throw to them, so that disqualifies them. So yeah, we're back to where we are.
Oh, I can't say that. I mean, they were averaging 38 points a week with Joe Flacco until they ran into the steel curtain last week. So
I
I
mean, are
can't
they
say that they
outperforming this
didn't.
duo though?
They just
Jamar
can't
Chase
stop anybody.
Jamar
They
Chase
just
had
can't stop
16
anybody.
receptions in a game.
Yeah, he
16.
balled the fuck out.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I,
Yeah, go ahead.
they got a gunner back there, but their defense is terrible. Well, maybe not terrible. The defense is average. Chase Brown is a good back. I think their offense is great out there, but you saw what happened when they ran into a better performing Steelers defense last week. So I'm gonna challenge you on that assertion that they don't have anybody to throw the ball to.
I guess if you want to put your eggs in the Joe Flacco hat, I mean, Joe Flacco at this stage of career is extremely boomer bust. He's a rental quarterback and has been the last like 5 years. So I mean, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
So so going back to, I guess something that solidifies this for me is when CD Lamb was out, that George Pickens' production did not slide.
that's
Um,
true.
there was no cohesion issues at all with Dak, and they were lighting up numbers. And in fact, if he has a good game today, he'll cross that 1,000-yard mark. And also having 7 touchdowns. So again, he's given Dak an element that he's never really had, which is an extreme over the top guy who he's simpatico with. Because I mean, how many times have we seen like a throw where I just trust you to be there? Like, because Dak's not that kind of guy like that. Dak is a calculated, methodical, move the ball up the field guy. Before he hurt his foot, like to use play action a lot and things of that nature, and give it to the safe throw. That's why him and Dez had the issue again to kind of belabor that, not to belabor that point, but he brings that dynamic where I'm not gonna lie. When I watch them play, every time I see that ball go towards George Pickens' way, I'm like, man, could this go to the house? Like, what does Dak see? What does he see? You know what I mean? And I can't remember a time I really felt that way. Like, I know CD, when he throws CD, he's open. Okay, he found some workable in the numbers yardage. Okay, I know it's a safe pass going to CD, not necessarily a game breaker opportunity, but George Pickens offers that, and not only just from an optical standpoint, from a statistical standpoint.
Dez.
No,
Dez was the last guy that made you feel like that.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Dez was the last guy. Oh shit, here he goes. The Savage. Hey, let's also remember too, we talk about these great duos, okay, at receiver. All right. Let's look at Minnesota, Dallas, and Detroit. Okay. There's a component that we're kind of leaving out. All right. It's the tight end. Minnesota has Hawkinson, right? Been to the Pro Bowl before. Dallas has Jake Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's been to the Pro Bowl before and is having a pretty solid season this year.
Yes.
Detroit had probably the best tight end out of the 3 in Laporta. He's done for the year. That's something to keep an eye on. And Detroit only scored, 9 points or whatever it was last week. And that's kind of like the first game that they didn't have Laporta. Again, and this is a run-heavy football team, Detroit. And Dallas wishes to be run-heavy. I know Minnesota would like to run it more. And that all ties in to really good tight end play. So we talked about the great duos and the great receiver rooms that are around. But I think when you really start to thin the herd, the ones that have the most success also have a good tight end on the squad. Dallas Goedert, Hawkinson, Laporta, Ferguson, these teams, right? They've got the good tight end, and that helps the guys on the outside. You back it up with the running game, and I'll land the plane like this, as we always say, everything affects everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, and to kind of still man your point, Jake Ferguson's our third leading receiver. 7 touchdowns, 400 yards, 60 receptions. The most obviously your tight end is probably going to get most of your receptions, but no, that's a solid point. Solid point. So yeah, I mean, we really don't have any. So I guess ultimately to kind of put a nice bow on my take, there's no flaws in our receiver core. So with them being, especially, I love the fact that they're so young. George Pickens being 24, CD Lamb 26, I believe. There's just nothing to say. I don't know how you stop these two besides pressure them and make Dak make mistakes.
You add Tolbert, Flournoy, and Turpin, combine them into one guy. That's a third guy.
Turpin. Yeah.
So, that's your third receiver. They equal your third receiver. So, you're fine there. We know what the deal is, all right, about the Dallas Cowboys. But offensively, you're fine there.
That's been the theme of the year. Offense fine, except when we play against the Broncos. I don't know what the hell happened to it that game or the Panthers. But other than that, yeah.
So, fellas, moving to the immediate future. Today, the Cowboys will face off against the hated Philadelphia Eagles. I know you guys are looking forward to this game. When the Cowboys played the Eagles back on November 23rd, the victory belonged to the Eagles. It was 24-20, a pretty hard-fought victory, if I remember correctly. Let's stick with hoop jargon and go ahead and get your predictions, analysis, what you expect out of this game.
Yeah, man. See, I games like this is gonna tell me again for the fifth time who we are. Because every time I think I have a handle on the trend lines of this football team, man, I just get thrown for another loop. I.e. losing to the Cardinals was one of my big all right, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about at all with the Cowboys. But classically, Philadelphia is a game that it doesn't matter the records. It doesn't matter where the teams are. It's going to be a competitive game. Just personally going to Cowboy games, I can remember the early Carson Wentz era where they were, just a damn good football team, probably the best football team before we came to know them as winning Super Bowls, right? We still it was a dogfight playing against us. That was the infamous game when in that era, Amari Cooper had his infamous 200-yard reception game with the overtime touchdown that popped up and he caught it and walked into the end zone. I was at that game. So it's always going to be something when we play against Philly. I think game number one proved that. So going forward, I mean, Philly is good as advertised, solid. They, the returning Super Bowl champions dropped a head scratcher to the Giants, but I mean, as a championship level team, you're allowed to have an off week or two. I just expect us to split, man. Every year I go into the same mentality that we're going to split with the Eagles. We could split with the Giants, but, I expect this to be a competitive game. And again, we're at home. So we talked about this. We can't play for shit on the road, but this is a home game where we're very comfortable. We're on a high, and Philly has not seen our pass rush as it currently stands. I expect Jalen Hurts to be who he is. One thing to note, too, Saquon Barkley has not been having a phenomenal year this year. And from his ball carry standpoint, that they're about the same. His yards per carry have gone down. So there's opportunity to stymie that because if I can remember correctly, containing him has been a problem last year. So I'm very optimistic. I'm going to be – I think that's why you said – I think you let in that I didn't know what the Vegas numbers were, but I think you said we are a slight underdog. Is that correct?
I didn't mention it, but I did see on ESPN that Philly was favored about 60-40, 60%, 40%.
Yeah, I'll take those odds, man, because if we ask –
Boomer Esiason said he liked Dallas. No, Boomer Esiason said he liked Philadelphia to upset Dallas the other day. So
okay. Interesting choice of words.
How is that an upset? When Philadelphia finished to win.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But it's okay.
Fucking
That's the
boomer.
funny thing about being the Dallas Cowboys is like the shit changes on a dime. You go from a bum ass team to people's eyes to team expected to win. You know what I'm saying?
Like
just because
in any given week.
Any given week. So, I mean, you come and just kind of adjust to that kind of critique, which makes no fluidity sense. Meaning, there's no other team that really has that type of standard. But, being a Lakers fan, being a Cowboy fan, you know how it goes, man. It changes all the time.
It's pressure.
Correct. So, but ultimately speaking, I'm expecting a damn good game, and we can get into the numbers in a second. But as we see what's kind of trending with the Eagles, beating, coming off the Detroit win, that's a huge win. But as we just talked about, losing Laporta, that does describe some of that. So, man, I expect our Quentin Williams acquisition to really pay dividends. I expect us to contain Saquon Barkley. If we're judging off one game, only giving up 27 yards. So I don't know, man. I mean, maybe AJ breaks out of his slump and has a big game against our secondary. We'll see. But no, man, I expect us to do what we do, and I feel confident about this week. Let me put it that way.
If I were a betting man, and I'm not predicting the outcome of the game here, but Saquon Barkley is due for a breakout game. Dallas's defense has been porous all season, with the exception of against the Raiders. So if the conditions are right, we'll see. This is a great test for that Dallas front seven, especially with Quentin Williams. I don't think the Las Vegas Raiders were a great test at all. You're going to find out who you are exactly against the Super Bowl champs, and that's why they're the champs. You'll get your litmus test.
We've had, it doesn't matter who lines up against us. We let everybody go off on us. And we finally had, something that we can observably see is a change on the D-line impact a result. Because if we weren't giving up these chunk yards to everybody, I would say, okay, there's some validity to that assessment. But we've been letting everybody go. Like, everybody's going to be your best game, whether you're the quarterback or you're the goddamn running back. You're going to have one of your best games of the year against us. Even with Kenny Clark down there doing his work down there. But we see that putting in Quentin Williams, we saw a direct result. Like, under 30 yards rushing is crazy. But to your point, we'll see once the film rolls.
Yeah. This is, to your point, Saquon has not been having a great season, which means statistically the second half of his season should be pretty doggone good. Unless we're just saying that Saquon is, 70% of what he was last season, and I doubt that. I think the Eagles are going to ratchet up. Right now they're going to approach the playoffs, and this is right when serious teams start getting really serious, and they're going to get really serious about establishing the run. That's just my general prediction about this game. They need to. AJ Brown can cry all he wants. This team thrives when Saquon Barkley is chunking off yards of offense. That opens up the receiving for everyone else, Dallas Goedert included. So, shut up. Wide receivers are divas. They're notorious for that stuff. And my expectation is that Sirianni will pound the ball today. Joey, your take on the upcoming game today as we look at the Madden simulation?
Typically, man, after you run for a couple of thousand or 1,800, man, that next year, man, is going to, and then you add a deep playoff run into it, where he carried them boys, man. All right, Saquon carried them boys through the playoffs. He was dominant. Best football player in the world, 2024, Saquon Barkley, no question about it. When they locked his ass down in the Super Bowl, your man Hurts, from out of Channelview, Texas, in the Houston area, baby, he held it down. All right, this Philadelphia Eagles team ain't no stopping us now. Philly Eagles, man, they're the blueprint right about now, man. Right now, you gotta dig deep in your memory to find that. Right, McFadden and Whitehead. Right, there ain't no stopping us now joint, which is an excellent song, but I still hate the Eagles. Now it's like, ain't no stopping us now, except internal strife. They're getting some of that Cowboys media attention. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like AJ Brown. I mean, look, a lot of that shit is manufactured. But you guys know that. A lot of that bullshit is manufactured. You jam a mic up in a motherfucker's face repeatedly. What about this? Number of targets. What about this? What about this? At some point, he's going to be like, yeah, man, you need to fucking get it to me. At some point. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's
just say that.
Because that's what every receiver is thinking. That's what they're thinking all the time. I'm open.
Of course.
I'm always open.
I'm 7'11". I'm wide ass the fuck open. Get it to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just drop back and find me. I can't do nothing without it. I can dig it, man. I mean, that's the idea. That's the mentality. But again, they're still 8-2. Okay, and this I remember the Cowboys being 8-2 one year, right? I want to say it was 94 or 95. Yeah, W94 and 95. Oh, is there trouble in Dallas? They're 8-2. They're not blowing people out. I mean, come on, man. That's some Cowboy shit right there. They're 8-2, and everybody's questioning it, you know. And a lot of people think that, oh yeah, man. Like I would say, Vegas may say one thing, okay, but it is, you know, if the Eagles are a slight favorite or whatever, I think a ton of people think Dallas is going to win this game. Let me tell you something, man. The Eagles are the blueprint, period, and point blank. How he rolls, again, the real golden Jew, okay, not homeboy from Casino, is Howie. He drafts like a genius. He's a genius. And then they pick their spots in free agency. And then look at how they're able to manipulate the cap. 2 receivers, tight end, and a running back, and a quarterback, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's all augmented by just the tremendous way that they draft. They're 8-2. Offense is not what it was in many people's eyes, although I believe Devontae Smith has really stepped forward. Mm-hmm. He's part of the decline in A.J. Brown is that Smith is really starting to come into his own, man. Again, the same Smith that was part of the Micah Parsons trade, the first Micah Parsons trade, when the Eagles up ahead of the Giants.
I was trying not to mention that this week. I was trying not to mention that.
By trading with Dallas. So this football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, the way they have done it this year, quite simply one word and one word alone, clutch. When it matters, like, okay, I think in Madden, they've got this mode in Madden where you can play the meaningful moments, right? Yeah. I think, if I remember correctly, I haven't played Madden in a minute. And that's where the Eagles thrive. That's where they thrive, man. That's why you see them winning a lot of these close games. They particularly thrive defensively in these moments. Third down, red zone.
What you're seeing right now, his ability to take off, Jalen Hurts' ability to take off when the play breaks down is second to none in the NFL. He's not the fastest quarterback in the NFL, but he's the smartest quarterback in the NFL as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that.
He protects the football.
Yeah.
Protects football. Best touchdown to interception ratio in football. You know, so funny. We talked about this last Tuesday. You know, that, man, he sure catches a lot of hate. And then, of course, yesterday I'm listening to a local radio show, and one of their hacks is talking about how, boy, he sure catches a lot of hate. Look, he does. He catches a lot of hate up there in Philly.
It's Philadelphia. You're going to catch hate if you win the Super Bowl, as you see.
Well, it's not. It's like it's. There's just some spots like that. It's like Lou Holt said about Notre Dame. They lost the game, and the Notre Dame people are like, no, you don't understand. We need to win every game. Then they win every game, win national championship, come back next year. No, you don't understand. We need to win every game. We need to blow people out every game.
Yeah, I remember that era.
Nature, man. Motherfuckers want more. People want more. They want
We're greedy.
More.
Put that on the shirt. Motherfuckers want more.
I mean, my entitlement.
They want more. They want better.
My level of entitlement as a Steelers fan is off the chain. I know it.
Well, the fact of the matter is, and again, yeah, it all depends on the Steelers fans are, which is a great point. That Steelers fans are disgruntled and dissatisfied. Meanwhile, me as a Cowboy fan, man, I look at that thing and go, gosh, man, they just show up and compete. I wish we were like that. You know, I wish we showed up and competed no matter what, game in and game out. So it all depends on what standpoint you look at it from. The Eagles are still the blueprint, okay? After some uprisings in terms of the sexy picks, the Green Bays, the Detroits, the Rams, and all these teams that are sexy, and the Rams are balling. No question about that. Seattle, San Francisco's got Purdy back and all that. The Philadelphia Eagles are the best football team in the NFC, and I think they're the best football team in the NFL. They are talented through and through. Just everywhere you can name, every unit you can name, man, they got guys. I believe they have the best cornerback tandem, and DeJean and the cat on the other side. I knew I was going to screw his name up. The cat on, I just said, anyway. The cat. The cat on the other
Cooper
side.
Gene, they call him.
From Cooper to Gene. Got Markel. Anyway, their safeties are excellent. Their linebackers with Dean and the kid that they signed as a free agent before last year. They're great everywhere. D-line plus. They're young. They're super talented. Their O-line is going through some changes, but it's still better than most. Still have a great tight end. Still got great receivers. Saquon is still Saquon. This is the NFL's best team, and I think today is going to be a tough day for our Dallas Cowboys.
Personally, I think they're vulnerable. The Philadelphia Eagles. I think that the discord in the locker room is dangerous to the Eagles. I think that they should have gotten rid of A.J. Brown at midseason, traded him for 2 good receivers. I don't think this team needs an A.J. Brown. I think it needs 2 hands-capable receivers to serve as outlets for Jalen Hurts. I don't think this team really facilitates a star wide receiver that well, and that's the problem with A.J. Brown right now. And he's made it known. He's played relatively nice this season, but when the pressure...
I think Stephon Diggs would work real good there.
Stephon Diggs probably would, yeah, because he doesn't...
I think he complements what Smith does in terms of his rack and all that type of shit, where Smith is a stretch kind of a guy, hookup kind of a guy. I think just the move player, a guy like a Stephon Diggs, a move player, I think would go really good for them.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. So my assessment of Philly is that they're vulnerable. My assessment of Dallas is that they are actually rising. I am very curious to see how the new defensive alignment forms up with a good opponent. I know we take a moral victory from the Raiders. I know, but they're
an actual victory.
They're 2-9. They're 2-9.
It's an actual win, but we say, well, that's a moral victory.
Yeah.
We're trying to shortchange us, man.
I used to have a tracker. I used to have a tracker because my relatives in California.
Dude.
My relatives in California used to get on me about.
Got a mo haircut. Shit, it's barely a win.
Yeah, my relatives in California used to get on me about, growing up in PA and being a Steelers fan. So I used to fuck with them back about the Raiders. I had a tracker this one season, man. The Raiders was 0-15 that season. They went 1-15 that season. And it was, so the Raiders have been horrible for a long time, unfortunately. The Eagles have won 2 Super Bowls in the last, 6 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
So this is a different animal. And if Dallas wants to get back on top of the NFL world, today's the day to do it.
Yeah, I'll say this small thing.
That's right. Power is something you take.
Yeah. So
you got to take it from the Eagles, who have all the power.
Yeah, man. So I'll kind of blend both of y'all's kind of takes on this, because I do see Eagles as just fundamentally solid everywhere, but I do think there's opportunity. I do think they're vulnerable. Like you look at their scoring spreads. They're not beating nobody ass really. Mm-hmm. They don't turn the ball over. They play smart ass football, and they're gonna choke you out how you are to be choked out. And so this is gonna tell me how mature level. Huh? You're just solid. A solid football team. Yeah. They're not going to give you anything. So,
but I do believe they are vulnerable, like y'all said. I do agree.
Yeah. So this is going to tell me who we are. Can we play that type of football now? Can we go and not, get a false start on 3rd and 3 and make it a 3rd and 8, right? Can we go out when we got to get off the field on the opposite side of the spectrum on a 3rd and short? Can we make the stop and get off the field? That's what we're going to see what we are. Because we have a lot of sizzle to what we do, meaning, big play opportunities. Obviously, we have one, if not the best offense in professional football. But we struggle in the margins. We struggle when we come out slow. Can we get our wheels up under us? Because if we come out slow and we come out, because if we remember the first game, we came out scoring early and often on the Eagles. And they had to come match our energy. Can we? So I don't anticipate that's necessarily how we'll do. But are we going to do this Cowboy touchdown thing where we're kicking all these damn field goals and Philly are banking these sevens on us because we know right? That's when we're gonna see where this game is won or lost. I would argue in the first quarter we'll know where this game is. We come out ready. I'm confident. We come out bullshitting. Philly is gonna throw that blood in the water and gonna do what they do.
I think the story is Philly's offense.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. I think the story is gonna be Philly's defense versus Dallas's offense.
Yeah, from the slow start to continue from the first quarter to the second quarter. Now you're like against Arizona. Now you're slow for 2 quarters.
Right.
And all of a sudden you get to the third, and it's desperation time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't
from
want
behind.
like, okay, not scoring on the first drive is fine, but man, when you are doing nothing the entirety of the first quarter, and then like say they get the ball to start the second quarter or whatever, and then they have it, and you don't do shit, you get one last drive. That's what you don't want to happen to Dallas, man. So you're dead on about the slow starts. Okay, doesn't mean you got to come out and walk it down and score on the first drive. But there needs to be some damn activity on the scoreboard in the first quarter.
Absolutely.
You know, something. And I will take the field goals. You know what I'm saying? Early. Okay, early on, I'll take them. Hey, man, just take it, be done with it, head out. You know, like what your boy in Moneyball say, right? He's like, if somebody sacrificed bunts, pick the motherfucker up and throw it the first. Just giving me an out. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, if you get down and get a field goal, I know it may be disappointing. Fuck the ESPN metrics. Punch that motherfucker through and see what happens. All right, now I understand when you want to jumpstart a team and later in the game, that situationally, you do want to go for it, right? Oh, where's your balls and all this kind of shit. Cool. But early on, hey, man, the jab is a thing, baby. It's a field goal. Pop with that jab. Just play nose to nose with these motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? Well, that bitch in the fourth.
Man, you know, so let me capstone it with this. Again, I've gone through so many emotions with this team from a standpoint of with a new coach, with Michael gone, just a clean slate of no expectation, right? Whereas last year I was like, no expectation. So I'm changing. Then at one point, so then we talk about no expectation. We play Philly to the death. I'm like, oh shit, we may have something right here. So my shit goes up, and then we play the Giants and barely beat them with Russell Wilson's RIP game before he's a starter again. And you know what I'm saying? We can names all in between. We make this big trade. We make this acquisition. George Pickens emerges as a stud. It's like I don't know what to think of these motherfuckers. But if I'm gonna think about
didn't we feel great when they whipped Cleveland's ass that first game of the year last year?
Yeah,
like, hell yeah, 12 wins again, bitch, back in the mix. And then, and then the next thing you know, David Carr's dick dancing on us, and they're hanging 50 on us. Right.
So to your,
you're right about the emotional swing. That's what being a Cowboy fan is about. And ain't it great? Ain't it great?
Sometimes. But I say that to lead into this game. If we're really serious about this infamous 6-1 run that we got to go on and all that, yes, we can afford to low-key drop this one. But for what though? Like, this is a split that we normally have to lead to my first take. This is a team that is vulnerable, even though they are the class in the NFL. Make no mistake about that. But I think we are a very opportunistically good team offensively with a new patched up defense and a hell of a Ferrari. We talked about the dump truck in the Ferrari analogy about a month or so ago, talking about Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons. Now we got us a dump truck Ferrari in one Quentin Williams. If that shit don't exist, but that's what the fuck we got. We got a dump truck Ferrari. Fast, efficient, strong, all that. Right? So I want to see this actually play out. I know people say this is more of a next year move and going forward. I say, man, with the offensive talent we have, I don't think it's far-fetched to want, achievement right now. So we'll see where we are. I think this is a beatable team, even though they are the class in the NFL. I just think we're better than our record says, especially with our new addition. So I'm very much looking forward to how that plays out.
Fellas.
We're looking for a fish that saved Pittsburgh reset in the middle of the season.
we're
And they
going to
got
move.
everybody like things was going all messed up. Then they got everybody right, and they got their Pisces algorithm right. You know what I'm saying? Julius Erving was rolling motherfuckers up, right? You know what I mean? They figured it out, right? And it's like when the dude lifted up his shirt and had "Trade Me" written on it, that was one season, right? Then they reset the whole thing, you know, with Indians and set shot, free throw shooting motherfuckers, all built around Julius, right? Boom. There's a different team. That's what we're looking for here, right? Is this reset like, who are those dudes that played earlier? Like who? Sam Williams, Kyrie Elam. Who are these people now? Right? It's Raku, it's Williams, it's Logan Wilson, Overshown's back. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Caleb Carson is back, and he played every snap. Man, that blows my fucking mind. He played every defensive snap. So they like the kid, and hey, he's different. All right, he's not Elam. I'll say that much. Again, you know, that's what they need. They need to. It's like that other shit is just ancient history. It's gone. It's not even the same season. This is the new season. Again, boys, I said at 3-5-1, they need to go 7-1. That starts today. Got to get this one today.
Fellas, I want to take the time out to address a comment we got in our private chat from our man D Brown, who said Devontae Smith is every bit the dynamic wide receiver that Pickens is in a smaller body. I'm gonna say the smaller body is a big difference. But quickly, what say you fellas?
I mean, as far as production, I mean, not quite simpatico, but obviously, I mean, with Jaden Smith not throwing the ball like Dak does, you know, obviously there's going to be a little bit of attrition there. But I mean, as far as talent, yeah, I can go with that. But I'm gonna talk out of both sides of my mouth because being 6'3", 210, 215, it's just a comparative advantage, you know, overall as far as capability, especially deep
His
ball
length, given his length,
in back end zone catching opportunities. So, but I mean, it's kind of like the Jerry Rice thing. Jerry Rice wasn't a super big, you know, receiver, but very impactful. You know what I mean? So I can understand the sentiment, but I do give premium to the larger body.
Joey, what say you?
I agree 100%. The bigger guy. Give me the bigger guy. I would take Pickens over Smith, although Smith has done really, really well. But especially in Dallas, man, you have a way better Smith. His name is Sedarian Lamb. Okay? Sedarian handles all that shit, and he's better than Smith. Although Smith has been very, very good this year. I don't want to take anything away from the former Heisman Trophy winner, but give me the bigger guy. We've talked about this time and time again. Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. My guy's a Carolina fan. My homie Mike, he's a Carolina fan. I said take the bigger guy. Take the bigger guy, right? Romy or Malik Neighbors, all right? And again, and I like Malik Neighbors. Don't get it twisted, all right? But give me Romy. Give me a Ajunde. He's the big, like I said, I call him Romy. Give me Romy. Romy's the bigger guy, all right? And again, and this is football and it happens. But I said the same thing about Daniels. You know, God, Daniels, quarterback from Washington, such an exciting baller, and he's clutch, and he can spin it, he can run, he can play. Slightly built guy. Slightly built
all the time.
Guy. I'm sorry, I didn't make it this way. I'm not the one that made bones break. And
he got to get in the gym. He got to get his protein shakes. He got to get his protein shakes.
RG3 damn near all over again.
Guy. Take the bigger guy. That's what Alabama and Georgia do whenever they're recruiting. Give me a big some bitch that's fast. I'll figure out the rest.
And I said Jalen Smith, or I meant Jalen Hurts, obviously, but yeah.
Fellas, thank you for
Hurts is
wrapping that up
a
quickly.
slow bastard. Well, I tell you what, he's a strong some bitch. Little Cam Newton there, little half-pint Cam Newton.
Thank you. Thanks again for wrapping that up quickly. Our last topic of the show before we move on to Cowboys trivia. Stick around if you want to win money. But our last topic of the show is one I added at the last minute. These guys have no idea what I'm about to ask, but I think it's a very serious topic of discussion for this game where you have a Super Bowl champion head coach versus a rookie head coach. What say you about that particular set of circumstances in this game?
Well, Sirianni's Italian, so he's got an edge right out of the blocks. I like Sirianni, man. He's a bastard. You know what I'm saying? He is a rat bastard. I like him. I've always liked him. Being Italian notwithstanding, I've always liked the guy, man. He's kind of a red ass, and they've got good coaches on that thing. Vic Fangio, also Italian. They got good coaches on that thing, man. I like Sirianni, man. You have to, like, just for where they're at, like, just Schottenheimer's what, 8-9 years older than Sirianni, something like that. Wow. But Sirianni is the more experienced guy, right? He's the more experienced guy right now. Where he's at in his arc of coaching, which he's doing a fine job, by the way, to me. All right, I don't care what Philadelphia fan says. He's further along, so to speak. Further. I'll call us farther distance. Further along. Sirianni's further along in his career, and he's further along as a coach right now. Schottenheimer's still figuring some things out. Okay, so yeah, man, I give the edge to Sirianni, and certainly Vic Fangio versus Matthew Eberflus. I mean, that's like a semi hitting a Volkswagen. Okay, that's not even close. Another interesting stat before I throw it back to the distinguished members of the panel. Dakota Rain Prescott, the Aquarius, has won 18 consecutive games against NFC East opponents at AT&T Stadium, boys and girls. 18 straight.
Well, we shall see. We shall see if that streak continues.
Yeah, he don't play around at AT&T. If you guys have never been to AT&T Stadium, it is a movie during a Cowboys game.
I'd love to go.
You should. When I lived in Dallas from 2017 through 19, I went to every game. It was. Come on
now, you gotta admit, Cliff, the fucking seats are small.
Yeah, that's why.
Seats are small.
Great point. Man. Great point. That's why I go to.
You gotta sit to the side. Like, man, I hate that shit. Them seats are small, man. Like, if you're like, I'm over 6'2.25", right? I'm with my homeboys who were 250. Cliff's a big boy. I can tell Zen's a big boy. All right. So, I mean, like,
I'm little.
I turn to the side, man. And then the way they funnel everybody in, again, man, you're right. It's like a football game in a movie or a football game in a mall where you can buy fucking lingerie and art if you want to.
Hey, we should go. We should go to a game next season. I would love that. But let me tell you, by that time, I'm gonna be 5'7", 175 at best.
That's cool, man.
That's gonna be my size. Yeah. I'm on that. I'm on that Zempic.
But you're not small. But that's not small. You know,
I'm muscular. I'm muscular as shit.
That's a stocky. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just fat.
You just sit in those seats, man, and it's like, damn, man, for real.
I'm just fat.
You just see Jerry. Well, hey, listen, if we just took about 4.3 more inches off of each side, and you multiply times 80,000, now all of a sudden we see 100,000. Let's get that done.
Listen, I'm a former weightlifter, former runner.
Like
when the fast going, you're gonna be like, damn, what happened? When the fast going, you're gonna be tripping.
Yep.
So don't. Well, yeah, it's there.
Get back in there and just land it.
Land the plane.
Yeah, because I and to JC's point, when you're in the 400 section, yeah, them seats are small as shit, and I prefer to go to the standing room only area because that's where the best shit talking is. Go to the standing room only and just go in there and talk shit. Like I literally got into it with so many fans of opposite teams. Namely, the star of the show was this chick who's a Saints fan, don't know shit about football, just talking shit, and it just was a great back and forth. And she was trying to fight me, and then her people just pulled her back. I was just like, "Ma'am, stop." Just because you don't know what you're talking about, don't mean you
should have whipped his ass.
Man, I ain't coming there for that. I came there to get drunk and watch the Cowboys. So with that being said, but no, so guys, and one last comparison, I would compare it to going to a Laker game versus a Clippers game to kind of level set you. a Lakers game is magic. Going to a Lakers game out here in LA. Going to a Clippers game is like a recreational men's league game. I bullshit you not. It's nowhere close as far as the experience. That's what a Cowboys game is. Because I even go to a 49ers game. Not the same panache. Not the same whatever. Texas game. Just not the same. Cowboys is something different. It's just a good lather worked up of people who are around the DFW area who are. So you go up to the standing room only on the top. It seems to be where the outer towners go. You see people from all over who come there to experience the Cowboys who don't want to pay an arm and a leg. Man, it's just a great experience. It's very hard for me to, articulate it properly. But, yeah, so that's just what it is with the Cowboys. So how that plays into Dak, he feeds off that. He feeds off that. Ain't nothing like that, man. You hit the train engine going, and the announcer with his golden voice gets you going. You know what I mean? It's just different. I don't know how to describe it. It's just different.
Man, like Saints fan, the Saints fan that tried to fight Cliff is like the little Italian dude that just saw Rocky, right?
Like, you ready to
go? He's 6'7". I'm 5'2", but I'm Italian. Watch this. Wait for my candy, right? And Cliff's like, "Oh, you must just saw Rocky."
Well, it's a girl on top of that. I'm just like, ma'am, relax.
He's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it.
I'll take you to your weave off. But anyway,
on a stadium seat. He's not gonna make it.
Oh boy, her ass is on 10, boy.
Well, look, we got a minute and 10 seconds left in the simulation. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't watch it. But it's 14-7 in overtime. Dallas has the ball. Prescott in the shotgun at the 25 from the looks of it. Hits 87 over the middle. We might as well go ahead and close this out by watching this sim and seeing what Madden predicts today.
All right, so let's get into the predictions then.
Yeah. Joey, your prediction for today.
Man, I hate to say it. I've thought long and hard about this, as I have all of the hot chicks on latinswithgiantasses.com. I've thought long and hard about this one, boys. And I hate to say it. I am seeing, again, weird score, 22-13 Philly Eagles. And again, y'all know I'm a glass half empty guy, but that's what I'm going to go with, 22-13 Philly Eagles.
Okay.
Clear?
All right, man. The Eagles have been rolling against pretty quality opponents. Low scoring in affair, except the Giants game. Well, I guess 28 points is a decent amount against the Vikings. But they did lose to the Giants. It got rolled. They did lose to the Broncos, so did we. So with the run game, not so great, but I do improve defense. So I know we're still going to give up points. So I'm going to say it's going to look much like last game, but I think the momentum that we so-called have right now may carry us. So I'm going to go 27-23. Good guys.
There you have it from Cliff. Myself, I'm going to go with a high-scoring game. I think both defenses are going to play less than their standard today against these offenses. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are a handful, and I think it's going to show up. Javonte Williams is a handful, and it's going to show up. My only concern is Dallas's defensive line, but I think Philly's right to be plucked off today. So I'm going to go ahead with the Eagles, but I'm going to call it a high-scoring game. Let's call it 33-30 on the leg of Brandon Aubrey.
And we have successfully brought Zen to the dark side. You see the hat. We've convinced a PA guy to join Cowboys Nation and be part of the magic.
I'm open-minded about that sort of thing, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know what's going on. If the Steelers and the Cowboys play in the Super Bowl, you already know.
Oh, well, I would expect nothing less. Something's wrong with you if you didn't.
I hope that happens.
That's why I don't pick Western Conference teams outside of Portland to ride with too. Never seen me do that.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Looks
The
like we have a
Cowboys
conclusion
and
to our Madden
Steelers.
simulation. As that, oh no, we're going to a conclusion right now.
Second overtime. Tell us that.
Damn.
It just expired. The
Where's
overtime.
Amari Cooper?
I thought they only got one OT in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on. That's some video game shit right there.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna finish this drive at least, so we might as well continue the show that long if you got time, fellas. I'd hate to come this far and at least not see the end of this drive, but
How is it 3 more minutes? It just was 17 seconds.
that's what I'm wondering.
See,
Because if the overtime period ended and Dallas was down by 7, then unless Philly used the whole clock and Dallas never got the ball back, which is possible, right?
it's like soccer. When, in soccer they give you the extended time and you don't know when exactly the game gonna stop.
I think they have to let you play a whole drive. Maybe that's it. And Dallas' drive ended in the middle of, or it ended at overtime. Wow. That's gonna end it right there though.
Dak had a walk-in touchdown to run it in. He stops and throws.
Quinyon Mitchell. That's the guy I was looking for. Quinyon Mitchell. That's a bad boy right there. Him and DeGene are cold, man.
Look at all that real estate in front of Dak.
That's what really helps your football team when you got great corners. And they got those cats in the same draft. That's fucking genius.
What school did he come from?
Genius.
There it is.
What school did Quinyon Mitchell come from? I gotta recognize that.
Is Mitchell like an Ohio State guy? Or like a Big Ten guy? Now I know Cooper DeGene went to Iowa.
Sure, I can search that.
Is Mitchell is he from Georgia? Come on, man. Somebody get on their phone and figure that shit out.
Clemson. Let us know in the comments.
I'm just gonna keep guessing.
Let us know in the comments where that player played college football. In the meantime and in between time, this has been another episode of Straight No Chaser Podcast. We have one last note to take care of today, and that is Cowboys trivia. We're going to try to keep it plain and simple because we've been having issues and all that stuff. So 30 seconds, once I put this question up, I'm looking at the clock. We'll start the music. We'll stay right here. 30 seconds only, starting now.
Okay.
Music's playing. Here we go.
Yeah. Bring that sexy music out.
All right now. 15 seconds to go. This some bullshit.
When you're Toledo,
and that's time. That is time. Fellas, we don't have any responses, so you are the questionees at this point. What is the name of Dallas Cowboys mascot? We actually saw him during this broadcast.
I don't know the name of him.
Woo!
Rowdy.
Rowdy.
Cowboy, man.
Rowdy is his name.
Crazy Ray is spinning in his grave right now. Ray went from Crazy Ray to this goof. Crazy Ray is spinning in his grave right now. You know.
Hey, Quinyon Mitchell
went to Crazy Ray. Yeah, he'd be out, he'd be smoking cigarettes and shit during the game. You could bring your own alcohol. So, he had the Muscatel, you know what I'm saying, flask in his pocket. He was chilling. Love Crazy Ray. May he rest in peace.
I thought you said Rowdy was getting lit. Crazy Ray was getting lit during games.
Nah, it's not. Well, supposedly the rumor is that Rowdy is Jerry Jr. in costume.
That's funny.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt
they
it.
do find out for Jerry Jr. to do, so they say, go be Rowdy. Ain't that a bitch?
You might as well. Hey, it's my team. I'm putting all kind of Easter eggs and all kind of shit. It's my shit. It is what it is.
Well, there you have it, folks. The name of the Dallas Cowboys mascot is none other than Rowdy We saw him during this broadcast in our simulation portion. So if you ever want to see what he really looks like, because they never show him on TV, or if they do, I never noticed until today, make sure you go back and look at that during our Week 12 preview. But I want to thank my co-host today, my panelists, my analysts, our Dallas Cowboys expert, Joey Flosa, Italian-American, Cliff, Hoop Jargon CEO. Thank you guys for your expertise and your analysis. This has been another episode of Straight No Chaser. We'll be back Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Cowboy Standard Time, right here on Pass the Joint Podcast, and hopefully on Hoop Jargon. Make sure you head to @HoopJargon to subscribe as well. We
Yes,
out.
sir.
Fellas, y'all pouring up.
Straight no chaser.
I'm tipping my roach to you as I light my joint. Pass it, fellas. Peace. Enjoy your day.
Yes, sir.